Welcome back, I'm Kyle with Prolux, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to do some basic maintenance on a large turbo nozzle. Alright, tools needed. You're going to need a flathead screwdriver and then just a basic Phillips head screwdriver. So here we have the turbo nozzle. What you're going to do is flip it over. You're going to have 6 screws, so you're going to have 2 in the middle, 2 in the back near the wheels, and then these smaller wheels you need to pop off, and then there will be an additional screw on each side. To pop these wheels off, go ahead and get your small flathead screwdriver. And you just got to get the flathead underneath the wheel, and then you're just going to want to pry it or pop it off. Be careful, because if you put a bunch of force on this and you just pop it off real quick, the wheel and the little axle, it's going to go flying, so just be aware of that. Usually you can just get the flathead, just shove it underneath the wheel and kind of pop out like this. And then there's the other screw. And then we'll just repeat the same process on this side. Once you got those 2 small wheels popped off, go ahead and get your Phillips head screwdriver and remove all 6 of those screws. You do have this little viewport right here. Just go ahead and pop that off anyways. I don't think you need to, but we're gonna do it anyways, so. All right, so we got all the screws removed. Just a quick note, there is gonna be a size difference. So the 2 screws underneath the 2 small wheels that we popped off, they're gonna be the smaller screws. And that smallness is going to be both in length and thickness. The other 4 screws are gonna be exactly the same size. So when you go to put it back together, it doesn't matter which screw you use for which hole. You can just pop the turbo nozzle apart. Like so. Let's completely disassemble it. So we got the front cover off. You're gonna have the rubber guard. You're gonna have the brush roll. Just be careful when you're taking it apart. You just kind of remember what goes where, or watch this video. Alright, so we have the turbo nozzle completely disassembled, and this is the part where you can go ahead and clean any dirt and grime out, whether that's in the turbine, the pivot, the lens on the front cover, anything where the brush roll would kick anything back on this plate right here. You also have that viewpoint that we took out. Pretty much when you disassemble the whole thing, you have pretty much every square inch of this thing to clean it. Same with the brush roll. You can take this to a wire wheel, or get a razor blade and cut any stuck on hair. Let's see, the brush roll and the neck pivot, they're gonna have some plastic parts on it. So if these things fell off when you were taking it apart, make sure you just hold on to them. And there's gonna be like a metal, I wouldn't call it a bearing, we'll just call it like a metal plug on each side. That's just gonna go into the end of the brush roll. You can put them on any way you want, I don't think it matters. So yeah, with these things for the end of the brush rolls, you can put them on either side. Does not matter. Same thing with the neck pivot. You have these funky looking little guys, and they just go on this metal pin that goes all the way through the neck pivot. While we're looking at the neck pivot, here's the belt drive. So the large turbo nozzle uses suction. So as your vacuum's on, it's gonna spin this. And if the belt's attached to the belt drive, it'll be attached to the brush roll, and that's what spins the brush roll. So that is how you disassemble the large turbo nozzle. Now we're gonna reassemble it after you guys get your cleaning done or whatever maintenance you need to do. If you guys need any replacement parts, send us an email at service@proluxcleaners.com and we will get you taken care of. So first things first, let's go ahead and set the pivot back into the bottom of the turbo nozzle. With these little guys that are on the end of the pin, they have to sit in this little C-notch right here on both sides. So that's where they go. So it's probably better to have them attached to the neck pivot. And as you set it in, you kind of just have to play with it so they sit in those C-notches perfectly. Quick note, there is this like plastic O-ring or washer. Make sure that sits on the outside of molded plastic piece right here. You know what we forgot to do when we put that neck pivot back on? We should have installed the belt. So let's go ahead and remove it again. Now this is, I don't know what you want to call this. This is like a brush roll holder, and that's going to be like this. And the belt is going to sit in there too. So I think this is going to be the trickiest part. So This goes right here. So set it in there. And then we gotta put the brush roll in, so get those end caps, throw those on. Make sure you feed the brush roll through the belt. It's been a minute since I've made this video, so as I'm doing it, I'm relearning. So that's on. And then we'll lock that in. Pretty much here's what it looks like fully reassembled. Those side clips, they sit in right here. If you push them in, you'll kind of hear them click. So that'll let you know it's locked. Once you have everything on, just give the brush roll a couple manual spins to make sure everything's seated properly. And I think it is, so we're good to move on. That is putting this rubber bumper guard back around on the bottom of the unit. So just set it on there and then kind of just go around and gently push it down. And then the final step, and this will let you know if you did everything properly, is get the front cover or the top cover and put it back on. There you go, just be gentle with it. And then as you flip it over, hold both sides. And then go ahead and get your screws and screw them back in. And if you were like me and you took this viewport off for some reason, go ahead and put that back in. All right, the last thing to do is let's reinstall these small wheels. It's on, everything is good to go. I'm just going to manually spin the brush roll with my finger to make sure the belt is on properly. And that's it.